G'day guys, here's an intro to my car. Okay, well, let's give this a go anyway. Right, so, as I say, I think this is a very cold morning, cold start, off to work. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a ride and give you an idea of the car, talk about it a little bit on the way. That's the rock going there, which of course is imperative. Got to have the rock going. I've had this car, I think, and I'm guessing here, probably about 3 or 4 years. It's been absolutely awesome. Haven't really considered ever selling it before, but needs must, I guess. So I'm kind of looking at doing a project car. So this will give me the opportunity to trade down, and I can get myself something a little bit cheaper, and then I can put a bit more, free up a bit of cash. That's really what it's about. Otherwise I would not be selling it. I think this is probably one of the best value four-wheel drives on Trade Me at the moment, or possibly the world, although I might be exaggerating slightly. Car itself, as I say, it has 4 high, and then it also does has a centre diff lock, so you can have it in 4 high or 4 low. It's incredibly capable actually off-road. I've been down to the river a couple of times in it. Quite like fishing and that kind of stuff, so it works really well for that. Yes, as you know in there, as I've related to, it has basically a very low K engine in it. As I say, this was a CEO for one of the small councils in Wairarapa. Someone used it. It got a little bit hot. They put a note on his desk. That note got forgotten or dropped. Someone else picked it up and drove it for about 40 or 50 k's, not noticing anything happening until the engine was completely melted down. It's as I say, so I've imported a new engine, mainly because over COVID I couldn't get parts for love nor money to be able to do up the old engine, although it was very well overheated. I've replaced a number of different things in it as well. As I say, I think if you're going to go to the trouble of putting a good engine in, you've got to have all the right bits to go with it too. So as a matter of course, I replaced the water pump, and I also replaced the thermostat, a whole lot of hoses. In fact, there's a whole heap of stuff I've replaced that I just can't remember now. And a radiator also, I got that tested before I put the engine in, and it was blocked. So I dare say that was probably the reason for the overheat. This thing absolutely ticks over like a Swiss watch. It's absolutely beautiful. It's lovely and comfortable on the road. And it's an attractive four-wheel drive too. It looks really modern. I really like it. I actually prefer the look of this to the new ones. Go figure. But yeah, I mean, it's seen a little bit of life. There are some scratches and bits and pieces on it, which I've attempted to show. Probably best to come and have a look yourself. One that I have highlighted as well is, I think when the engine was out of it, the wind caught the bonnet and flipped it back. Did a little bit of damage up on the top of the guard on both sides. I've attempted to repair it and kind of paint it a little bit, but it's not perfect, and you'll see that anyway. I was happy to live with it because it makes absolutely no difference to the car, and it's not an eyesore either. You've got to really look for it. Across the top part of the bonnet as well, because it got garked up a little bit, it's got a little bit of a wave to it if you have a look down the length of it from one side to the other. And there are, bits and pieces of stuff that are scratches and scrapes and bits and pieces around the place. A couple of little nicks inside as well. Nothing on the actual upholstery, but yeah, come to pick up my passenger. It's great on long trips, lovely and comfortable. It's the big daddy of the 4 cylinders too. It's the 2.4 petrol, and as well, it doesn't rev up that much, but it certainly does have really good mid-range, and it's a good powerful kind of tool. In traffic, it'll idle in first gear with the clutch out all day. It's got a good solid heavy flywheel and things, so it's so yeah, if you're thinking that you have to sit in traffic a little bit and it's a manual, yeah, literally it will just toggle away and quite happily. I've been been down to the river a few times in some of the areas where it's quite rocky and quite rough, and I can literally put it in full low and I can idle over pretty much all the rocks and everything else. It's, you know, it's probably a little bit heavier. It's carrying around 2 sets of diffs and everything else, so, you know, fuel economy, it's not an economy car, but for what it is, it's pretty good too, and it's super duper roomy inside. Clever thing about these things too is they actually fold up really small, so you can get a ton of space in them. You can go like that, come down to here, pull this thing back. No, it's not that thing, it's this thing. Pull that back and they fold flat right back to there, which makes them bloody useful. So again, flat down, little pulley cordy thing down here, boom, and then you end up with a space that's like that, like a bloody bowling alley, which is really cool. So the car's New Zealand new, which is a really good thing. To do with the paintwork and things like that, there is no gel coat type issues, or should I say clear coat issues. All there is just a few kind of love spots, if you like, where certain things have kissed the car. Nothing too major, but certainly, yeah, the actual condition of the paint is in really good nick. But as I say, there's just been some scrapes and scuffs, and a few people have decided to kind of feel their way into a parking space beside me and those kinds of things. But certainly nothing too major to worry about. And yeah, unlike some other Japanese imports and things like that, literally the clear coat is perfect. In terms of reliability, I had no problem at all going, right, let's go down to the South Island and drive around the South Island for the next 3 weeks. I know it would never let me down. And it's got that capability of being able to get you out of some, you know, sticky situations that if you do go off-road a little bit. You know, it's just a little bit unique in the fact that it's a manual, 5-speed manual. Ain't many of them on the road, and they're four-wheel drive. You know, so there's a ton of them on Trade Me, a lot of Escudos, a lot of Japanese import ones, and there's a lot of two-wheel drive ones as well. But there ain't a lot that are four-wheel drive and manual and New Zealand new. You know, and those are things that can be quite important as well, I think. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this is informative. Anything else you'd like to know about the car, or if you want me to video underneath of the car, for instance, to see what the condition's like under there, happy to do it. Let me know, and I've also got this thing set up so that you can post in an offer as well if you wish. Yeah, as I say, low ballers will be ignored, but certainly anyone that's reasonable and realistic, I'll be happy to discuss. Thanks, guys. Bye now.